Welcome to the Featured Anime Podcast. I'm your host, Jack.
And I'm Rick.
And today we are talking about The Secret World of Arrietty, which was a recommendation by Angel, who honestly consistently has been a lot of great recommendations. But I think this one was, for me personally, a little bit on the lower end of it.
I'm as much as I want to disagree, I actually agree with you. It felt, when I was watching it, I was looking at it, I'm like, this reminds me a lot of The Borrowers.
Well,
for good reason.
Indeed. But before all that, we were talking about Overlord, an anime pop-up book that may or may not come into existence. We don't know yet. And a little fact that Rick is not 10 grand richer than what he currently is because of certain limitations in the realm of reality, unfortunately. You wanna catch part of that wider conversation or an ad-free version of the show, patreon.com/featured anime podcast. $1 a month will get you access to that bonus content and more. Now, on to the meat and potatoes. Secret World of Arrietty originally came out in July 2010. It is a fantasy, and it's based off of a novel, which we previously led into. And it ran for about an hour and a half, actually just over an hour and a half. Producers for it are Toho, JR East Marketing Communications, Kadokawa. The studio for it is Studio Ghibli.
Nice.
You know, I mean, it's not bad for a nice adaptation from a book that was written in the 50s.
Really, the 50s?
Yes, the 50s.
I mean, I agree. I don't really know what how else I can say something like that. Yeah, no, I agree. The book, either from the live action I saw before, like in 1997, I think it was with John Goodman, something like that.
Yes.
Completely, very different from Arrietty.
Yes.
just a minor amount.
To say the least.
When I was first watching it, I was like, wow, this is a shot for shot comparison. And then I ended up, I'm like, I wonder who was in it. I want to take a look. Not even close. Not even close.
Yeah, you're welcome for that, by the way. You're welcome for that. Yeah, because you brought it up before we started recording, before we went live and everything like that. Brought it up to me. I'm like, man, that's weird. I don't know. It's like John Goodman. I feel like I would have seen this. Turned it on. Watched the trailer. I was like, yeah, there is no way this is similar at all. There's no way. Yeah. I don't know. But the story is great. It's a solid story from the 50s. You know, it tells a very unique and interesting story on top of that about a 14-year-old girl trying to find her way in the world, trying to live as a borrower, because that's what they call themselves. And I like that they don't call the human beings. They call them beans.
Yes, bean, as like a jelly bean.
Right. Well, I know that in the English, the dub, they called them were beans, but in the subs, they called them human beings.
Oh,
yeah. So they added human in front of it each time. So it was,
okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it was, I thought it was, I'm glad that they kept the bean portion of it. It's like human beings. And at first I thought I was reading it wrong. I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. And the more the show went on, the more the movie played on, I was like, that's really bugging me, man. Why the hell do they keep calling them human beings? Why are they calling them beans? Like, beans. Why are they beans? Beans are so small. Like, you would think they would call them something else other than beans. And then I started half listening to the dub version, and then I realized, yeah, that wasn't a mistranslation. That was facts. They were meant to say beans the whole time.
Well, see, I always assumed that something happened to where, like, maybe they heard someone call themselves a human being and just mispronounced it.
Probably.
You know, that's where I got it from. So when they're like, yeah, human beings, I'm like, okay, we're going to go this route. And I think this book was originally made for kids, wasn't it?
That I am not sure on.
Okay. Well, in my head, it makes sense that it would be. But again,
I haven't read the book, so I honestly couldn't tell you. I mean,
I don't think it was a Dr. Seuss, obviously.
no. So yeah, I just pulled it up. Yeah, it is a children's fantasy novel, is what it is.
Okay. So yeah, that would make sense why they would mispronounce. It gives I would say relatability for mispronouncing things or purposefully giving things names that don't belong.
Okay. All right. Well, where?
So one of the things in the live action that changed in this was the motto of the borrower. The borrowers in the live action that I read or that I saw with John Goodman was humans or beings are there for the borrowers to take from. You provide stuff for us. That's what you do. That's the relationship we have. Whereas in this one, they're like, we borrow things that you don't need. And then she straight up stole a needle.
No, whoa. See, no. What they do is they don't just straight up steal it, right? They borrow things. And the needle was on the ground in a corner, likely to have never been found again anyways by them. So,
well, I mean, the best way to find a needle in a haystack, right? Jump on the haystack. It'll poke you in the ass every time. That's what cartoons taught me.
Right.
So what I'm saying here is real simple. The easiest way to find that one is walk around barefoot. It'll prick you. And you're like, oh God, found it. So I have a feeling it would have been found before. She just took it. It was like, it's now my sword. And borrowing implies you intend to give it back. I don't think they intended to give much of that back.
Well, you know what? That's okay. You're allowed that train of thought, sir. You are allowed that train of thought. Because you know what? That is 100% true. And I was thinking the exact same thing when they said, oh, we're borrowing. We're just borrowing. Well, I don't know how you borrow a cube of sugar and return it later on. I mean, like you could return it in a very particular way later on, but I don't think anyone's going to want it. I don't think it's going to be something they want.
No, thank you. No. I appreciate the opportunity to say no.
Hang on. I graciously accept your gift strewn about my yard after it has been properly taken care of and turned into proper compost. So that way it doesn't stink to high heaven. Thank you.
Yeah, no. Now I got a question.
I have an answer.
That cat all throughout the show just straight up wanted to murder, and not even like play murder, straight up 2 ribbons slash and tear and gnaw on all the little people. And then at the end, change your heart. You're my friend now. Come here. I'm gonna help you.
I'm sorry.
Where did that?
Are we?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Yeah. We're looking for logic and reality.
We are indeed.
In an anime, in an animated television show,
movie,
whatever, same deal. Where you have people that are like maybe an inch or 2 tall.
They're not people, they're borrowers.
Hey. Doesn't matter. Humanoid life forms. How about that? Okay.
Okay.
I mean, at this point, does it really matter?
Okay, explain this to me. Explain this, if you will.
No.
So, you know how Arrietty, who is the obviously the name of the movie, but also the name of the main protagonist.
Right.
Rule number 1, don't be seen by beans. Right?
Yeah.
Rule number 2, don't interact with beans.
Okay.
Rule number 3,
okay,
beans are bad. Don't go there.
Right.
She obviously breaks the rule.
Wait, okay? What? Are you telling me that a 14-year-old teenage daughter is daring, nay, just straight up doing the impossible, which is ignoring what her parents are saying? Just going behind their back and just doing it. I mean, like it's like she's a teenager or something. Jeez Louise.
That's the weirdest thing.
It's amazing. It is mind-boggling. You know what's even crazier is that her parents are like, yo, that's pretty damn sharp. I understand you're 14. Go ahead. Keep that needle that's obviously could be used as a damn weapon and don't worry about possibly shanking yourself with it. That's cool. I mean, like I'm not worried about
and she
it.
keeps stabbing her clothes with it.
Yeah.
Just whenever she puts it away, just straight through her clothes
Yep.
that her mom painstakingly borrowed the thread to create, I'm sure. Now,
Well, no, hang on.
Okay, what?
To be fair, she didn't steal the thread to make. She stole a piece of cloth, more than likely, and made it.
Are you implying that her needlemanship, sew-manship is bad? That she had to take some pre-existing stuff?
That's exactly what I'm saying. That is exactly what I'm saying, because that's what they do. They don't make their bread from scratch. They take crackers and then they mush them up into a powder to make their bread.
Ingenious.
Smart. Intelligent. Magnificent.
Almost intelligent enough to sew stuff.
Well, I mean, anyway. Like they do sew. I mean, like we do see him sew and sew it, but.
And you see the dad repair her shoes that are falling apart. Oh yeah, no, I saw that part too.
Again, I'm just saying, I don't think they made it from scratch though.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Now, let's assume that she is not a one-off, right? Let's assume throughout the years, it may have happened once or twice that a borrower was seen. We don't
have to assume that. They straight up say it. And in fact, the grandmother even talks about it. Like, she straight up says, oh yeah, no, we saw little people long back in the day, and my dad, I think it was her dad or something like that, whatever, had a literal house custom made for them.
I believe he made it.
Like, no, he had it custom made. The both times I heard him say that he had it custom made. It was built from the ground up for them, specifically for the little people, and he had hoped that they would come there and live there. Now, what I see is I see a dining room up top. Yep. I see a like a living area down below and a kitchen to the left. Where the hell are they going to sleep?
Borrowers don't sleep.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay. My mistake. No, they just cook with state of the art at the time ovens or something or whatever, cooking.
They borrowed it. They shrunk it down. They met the man who does the whole
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Yeah, I got you.
Met him and was like, I want this fully functioned thing shrunk down. Let's see what we got here. And it worked. It worked for them. It worked for Ant-Man. It worked for, just works.
It works. All right. Yeah, whatever. The one thing that's kind of a mainstay throughout the whole thing is that you have the other main character aside from Arrietty show, and you're never really told why he's there until about halfway through the movie. Then you're actually finally told. I could swear, like you're kind of alluded to that he's kind of weak and frail or whatever, that he has something, but he doesn't.
At the end.
No, he says, not at the
end, but like she was leaving. She was like, I gotta go. And then he goes something to the effect of, well, can I turn around to see you for the first time? So he does, and then have a heart to heart. And
yeah, okay. So like maybe like 2/3, 3/4 into it.
3/4, yeah.
Quarters.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you though, but like when I'm in a room borrowing something, you wake up or you're grabbing like the tissue paper and then you see homeboy just staring at you. I don't know.
I was thinking, I got Attack on Titan vibes, bro.
It's like straight up.
I was like, he's gonna eat her.
Like, dude, it's like, man, that guy is a closet psychopath. He's straight up gonna murder them. That's what's gonna happen. Serious. Like, you don't have to go. You could stay. It's all right.
Says the lion to the mouse.
Right? Oh my God, dude.
Yeah. I mean, he obviously heard stories from his mom, who heard stories from her dad, who had that whole thing built. Now, do we ever figure out who that old lady was? Because she had also seen borrowers.
Are we talking about like the grandmother that he's staying with? Or are you talking about the cracked out
grandma?
The one with the gray hair? Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, not her.
Oh, okay. You're
cracked out frog faced lady.
Yeah, I got you. I know who exactly you're talking about. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Her name or whatever. Yeah. What's her face?
Yep.
I don't know, man. She saw it, but she had her reaction to the whole thing. Haru, I believe. Yep. Haru.
That could be.
her reaction to it though was like what the borrowers were afraid of, right? Like once they see us, their curiosity just gets the better of them. They can't help it. However, like the level of crazy that she was like a whole new level.
Oh yeah, I got a feeling that she was told before she was nuts. Like she went through the whole thing like when she was younger, only to be told, "Yeah, you're not sane."
Yeah.
So, like, I can see why she'd be like, "I'm gonna catch him. I'm gonna get him. It's gonna be great. They're gonna believe me. They're gonna know."
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So, and she caught him in a jar, and oh god, that was so. Like I was like, she's gonna stab her. She's gonna stab her. She's gonna skewer her with the little toothpick. It's over. It's over.
Yeah.
And there was just no kindness, no mercy in that frog lady's face.
I mean,
at all.
Well, she viewed them like a pest, like they were a literal pest. Like she did not care at all. Like, and when she finally had caught her too, she was happy. She was giddy. I mean, honestly, straight up, like after she had walked into Show's room, after just like walking in, my first action to her was, why did you lock me in here to begin with, by the way? Just kind of curious.
Yo, the lock was from the outside, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even catch that. That's some prisoner status shit.
Yeah, she locked him into the room after she caught it.
That's nuts. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, like right after she caught the borrower. She straight up just walked. I'm going to secretly follow him upstairs. And I am going to straight up lock this fool in the room. Like, someone who has a heart condition, that's what you find out. Someone who has a heart condition, I don't think he should be doing that.
No. You need ease of access to get back to him whenever, however fast.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, there was a few things wrong with that lady, personally.
Few doesn't quite cover it. Like
there was a few things where you're like,
he's like down. First of all, she's like, how the hell did you get out here? After he shows up down there, and then she's pissed off. Oh, you need milk. What do you mean you need something to drink? What do you mean you need something to eat? Can't you just be a good prisoner and shut up and go away?
Seriously. Jeez. No, it was frustrating, and she was not my favorite person at all.
But you're not meant to like her. You are not meant to.
Why do you think that is?
Why do you think you're not meant to like her?
Yeah. Like, why was she written specifically to be disliked?
Well, in case you didn't know, most of the time people tend to have an antagonist or a person to create the drama or the negativity. But being by that question, sir, I mean, like, I feel like what you're trying to say is you secretly liked her. And I would like to know why you feel like she shouldn't be hated or disliked.
Kind of segue into that. I did like her originally. I thought she was going to be a very caring, charismatic, helpful person. I assumed that she was going to be one of like not a loving mother, but a dismissive, you know what I mean? Dismissive. Oh, you know how kids can be. Or it was going to be one of those, yeah, I had him too. I saw him when I was a kid as well. And no, like that was the grandma. Certainly wasn't her at all.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things that I was like, it was weirded out. Like the change where the grandma was so lackadaisical and she just really wasn't. And it went from what I considered to be a typical, interaction between grandson and maybe aunt. Who knows? But
you're talking about the helper, right?
I thought she was part of the family.
No, she was hired help.
Hired help? What do you mean?
Hired help. Okay. Typically, in case I understand you don't understand the way things work. Like when you are paid for services, generally people who come to the house, help cook, clean, things like that, they are called hired help. So when you're paid for a service to come help someone with something, regardless of what it is typically considered hired help.
Like she seemed better than a maid to me. Like she said,
I'm not
like
saying a maid. Family. Hired help doesn't have to exactly be like, yes, Yes, ma'am. Right away, sir. Right away, ma'am. Like when you
That sounds like
have,
Batman's butler.
what do you think a maid would be? Hired help doesn't exactly have to be straight up. Doesn't have to be. What am I thinking? Doesn't have to be so stringent or anything like that. Hired help is like it's something. Hired help is something more so meant along the lines of someone that is just strictly paid to come help, and you can have a long-term hired help individual, someone that you've paid for long-term and develop that relationship along the way, so that way it feels more like family. I mean, I have coworkers that I've worked closely with for a long time, and I would consider them pretty close to family for the people that I've worked with for a long time. And I know that we've had other contractors and things like that that we've dealt with and at my other jobs and everything like that for the longest time, and they're considered hired help, where it's like, symbiotic. It's like, hey, I consider you a really close friend, a bud, or whatever, or anything like that. But that doesn't mean they're not hired help. They're paid specifically to help.
Well, okay. I mean, you're not wrong, and I get what you're saying, but at the same time, like, I don't know. It felt more familial than anything else. That's where I get my...
Yeah, when you have a long time where it's like, dude, I've been paying you for the last 20 years to come here and help out around the house. You think there's not going to be that familiarity? You think they're going to be like, hey, whoa, 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 whoa. Listen here, Haru. I understand you've been coming here for the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years, helping out, everything like that, dust and everything. But you need to check yourself, woman, before I backhand you across the room. Check yourself
before you
wreck yourself.
My dying grandchild in a room that he can't get out of except because of a damn crow.
Right? So
yeah, it's one of those. Yeah,
just check yourself before you wreck yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. That's what's gonna happen. Is start breakdancing, popping and locking, going across the screen.
That would deserve a raise. That would deserve a Christmas bonus.
Right? Straight up breakdancing right there. Don't worry. I can breakdance the door open if need be.
You're right. I can breakdance the cancer away.
Or the heart problem or whatever is going on. Or the heart
problems, yeah. Well, let's go that route then. How often is this household, how often does this family see somebody sick that they would need a house out in the boonies? Or did he end up going with his grandma who only shows up one time? She's gambling the rest of the time?
Probably. I mean, like, bingo is a very profitable venture, sir, if you can do it right.
You just need to win 1 out of 4.
Right?
Jeez. Now, side note, when I was up at the casino, a buddy of mine used to work up there, and we shoot the shit, get free lunch and stuff like that, and I'd spend like $100, and sometimes I'd come up, sometimes I really wouldn't. But I remember watching this old lady just dump $100 bills in this slot machine. And I was like, holy cow. And I was watching her as we were eating. I pointed her out and I'm like, dude, she literally just put my check into the thing in the last 20 minutes. He goes, yeah, and she's going to do it again. I was like, there's no way. There's no way. Sure as shit, she did. That being said, that woman walked out with a $27,000 like bonus check because the thing hit. I was like, wow, she just knows.
I've seen like guys hit jackpots, like tens of $1,000s in jackpots, just continue to gamble like it was no big deal. He's like, yeah, no, I need bigger money, bigger payout.
I worked with a guy. Okay. So we called him Chivo. I'm sorry, just one second. We called him Chivo. He had a problem like that where he'd dump all his winnings in, and he ended up getting a black card, which means you had to spend like $250,000 a year. He didn't earn it at all, but every time he had a win, put it right back in. I'm guessing that's how they can afford this house. Every time he had a win.
Of course. Well, it was probably paid off years ago, decades ago. I mean, because it was a house that they had lived in for quite some time. And if it's a grandmother that's living there and that her father lived in that house, it was probably his father, her grandfather, basically, or whoever lived in the house or built it or whatever, and it's just been constantly built on and improved and refurbished and everything like that over the years.
I guess that makes sense. But I mean, it seemed pretty modern. Probably where you came in with the whole it's been modernized and they keep building onto it. That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. And, the fact that homeboy delivery driver had a cell phone that he pulled out.
I forgot about that.
I mean, you had kind of new-ish cars, vehicles, and things like that there. And then, you had the delivery driver at a good portion in the, like, about a quarter of the way into the movie, I think, where she's like, oh, do you know a good guy or this or that or blur, 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 or this and that? And he's like, oh, yeah, no, totally. Here, look at my cell phone. Look at that wireless device.
Oh, you sound just like her. Oh, God. That's scary. You sound just like her. Oh, no.
I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or an insult.
You're a talented voice actor.
Well, thank you. I try.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I know the real reason why we watch this show, so you can just show off.
Hey. It's beside the point.
I know. You weren't always a stripper. You used to have a real job.
Hey. No, stripping's a real job. Pays bills. Puts food on the table, damn it. Don't shortchange me. Just because I worked out on the corner for so long, you don't recognize me anymore.
Man.
All right. Beside the point. I mean, honestly, the story, it was good. It was
open-ended.
It 100% open-ended. I mean, like, does he live? I'm assuming he lives because of the narration. But, I mean,
I don't know.
What if he's saying, what if he's saying this on his deathbed? What if he's on his deathbed? He's like, I remember the time. It's only been a week, but I remember the time when I went to my grandma's house and I saw a little person.
He had to have lived. He had to have lived. I agree with you. All because of the narration. You just brought this up to my mind. He did say we heard stories years later that somewhere down the road, people just kept getting stuff missing in their house. Again, leading to my original, they're stealing shit.
Hey. They are borrowing, sir. Borrowing. Their name.
Well, let me go borrow your car.
You are more than welcome to, sir, as long as you return it.
Oh. Hold up. What was that last part?
As long as you return it.
Oh, and what do they don't do?
Well, hang on. To be fair, we don't know how they're returning it. Just saying. They're on the property. Yeah. They are returning it in the form of
all I know
fertilizer for those flowers in that wonderful field. You know what, man? Those flowers need to get nutritional value somehow. And it's all a part of the symbiotic circle.
Check this out. In the live action movie, they actually had a solution. Remember in the anime, he was walking around with a lantern that he was able to click a light on?
Right.
He used a battery.
Yeah.
In the live action, they actually swapped a battery out, replaced the dead battery with one of them from the remote, so the bean could be like, oh, it happened normally, right?
Sure.
Here, they didn't ever do that, and that bugged me.
Hang on. To be fair, the light never went out like that, and you never saw them putting anything back. You just saw them go on their one venture to take tissue paper and sugar and find a long-lost needle, and that was it.
Someone's first borrow, I believe is what he called it. Congratulations on your first borrow.
Right.
No.
So hang on. No. He specifically said it was borrowing. It fully intends to never
use the word
it.
Does not mean it's that. No.
Look.
You keep yes.
Yes.
I did the work.
No, you didn't.
Did you do the work? Yeah,
yes.
Totally. I did the work.
Yeah.
Well, just because I use the words does not mean they mean what I say they mean. Does not mean that you understand what I'm saying.
I understand perfectly what you're saying. All right, I do. I understand perfectly what you're saying. Whether or not it's true is another story, but I understand exactly what you're saying. Did you work? Yes. Did you find that? Yes. I found it. Air quotes up.
Yes.
Found it. I borrowed it with air quotes.
Yeah, no.
It works. It gets the job done.
It does not work, though.
It does work. Hey, you know what, sir? Did you have to risk life and limb to find that needle? Did you?
Okay, let me.
Did you? Did you?
You bring up a really good point.
Life and limb for it?
Yes, you did.
You did.
That said.
What?
That said.
What?
Do you have a picture, or did you see the part where they were walking on the way to her first borrow, where they
Yeah.
had to cross a canyon of nails.
Yes.
Who put those nails in?
I'm assuming that it's a part of rotted wood that eventually fell off.
Okay, how many nails? What contractor decided to put 45 nails a foot?
Look, sir, you're asking for reality
Yeah.
in an anime where there's little people, borrowers. All right. You know, I mean, like,
yeah,
is
all
there?
I'm saying, well, let's take a step back. They've got, I'm not even shitting you. If you watch the anime, there's got to be at least 40 to 48 of these just nails hammered in along this walking path.
Hang on,
right?
hang on.
It was about 3 feet long, I'd
Staples
say. So maybe
too.
once per inch.
Staples,
there were staples as well. Yes.
Yes.
You could use that as a ladder. But think about it like this. Let's assume that it was not put like that originally, because no builder, no matter who you are, especially if this is an older home, they're not going to be wasteful. Okay. So let's assume the borrowers borrowed nails from somewhere. That's why you got your picture falling every other week, because someone's taken the damn the nail you put in the wall.
Look,
and
sir,
let's assume that's it.
I
How did they
understand.
hammer them in? But they get a cat over here and just like swing his tail a few times? No.
What I think it is is because of where their house originally was positioned. Right? Because they said the first family disappeared, the second family left because they were seen. Right? There were 2 other families that were there. I'm assuming the first family that disappeared, whoever originally was there first, hammered those nails in to make it easier for them to get across.
What you're saying is
the same guy, the same person, the same being.
Ooh, that's a good solution. That's a damn good solution. Okay.
Got it all set up and everything like that. I'll say this. One of the things that I really liked is when water is a lot smaller or liquid is a lot smaller and moving out of a smaller orifice, I like that they kept the liquid physics for it. It wasn't just a straight pour. It was a little bloop. Yep.
Yeah, it was like a little drop here and there. Oh, here's your cup of milk. Bloop. How are you going to get that out? It's not going to come out.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
It was nice. It was cool. I enjoyed it a lot. There's a lot of little things other than the people.
Yeah.
That made the movie really good. Made it a Studio Ghibli. They had attention to detail, the colors, the gleam of the cat's claw as he's trying to shred our main character before all of a sudden he turns nice. And instead of eating them all, is like, I can help.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I really, honestly, I don't have too much more I can say about it, sir. How about you?
Other than like maybe one more point that really isn't beneficial. Okay. It's mainly about the wild one. Where'd they find him? How far did they go to find him? And are they really that plentiful? And
well, they kind of touched on it. Like he was out there. Obviously, he was out there hunting. He knows there's a community of them probably down the block, which is about a 2-month journey for them. And while her dad was out there trying to find a new place for them to live, and he got hurt, that's when he ran into the guy.
Fair enough.
All right, sir. As tradition would dictate, on a scale of up to 10, sir, how would you rate this?
I've never read the book. I've seen the 1997 John Goodman adaptation. Comparatively, and not even comparatively, but objectively, I would probably place this at a 6. Solid 6. A little bit better than the norm. I would watch this with somebody because it's cute, it's entertaining. But it's not something I'd be like, go out of my way, you know?
Yeah. No, I got you. For those reasons, that's why I'm actually going with a 5.
Okay. I was gonna say I'm a soft 6, hard 5, but
okay.
I didn't want that taken out of context.
Phrasing. All right, Thunderous 2. Let's get the move on.
Thunderous 2. How'd you know? God.
Okay. Well, that's all the time that we have for today. Next week's choice is actually another recommendation. This time it's by Jeb, and it's going to be a 12, 13 episode anime. And it is called The Land of Leadale.
Why does that sound familiar?
Right? You know, what's interesting about this movie, about the Secret World of Arrietty, and I brought the name up to a lot of people and who saw the cover art for it. That's exactly what they all said. It's just like, why does that seem so familiar? I mean, like, it was super familiar. And if I had seen it maybe 12 years ago, probably have, maybe I did, and I forgot about it, that does not bode well for it. But all right.
You're like, I saw it, but I still don't remember it. Must not have been a great show.
Right. So, all right. Well, that's all the time that we have for today. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you feel like we got something right, something wrong, did it too much justice, not enough justice, would love to hear back from you. Featured Anime Podcast at gmail.com, at Those Anime Guys on Twitter, at Featured Anime Podcast on Facebook. If you want to get access to some bonus content and hear some pre-show, post-show content that we usually do talk about, we also talked a little bit about the feelings on Anime Anonymous and what they felt on how we rated the Spirited Away anime by Studio Ghibli. If you want to hear a part of that conversation or get an ad-free version of the podcast, patreon.com/featured anime podcast. If you want to buy a version of the movie that we have talked about today, The Secret World of Arrietty, I do have affiliate links for you in the show notes. Feel free to purchase it. It does give us a little bit of kickback. If you want to buy some of our own personal merch that we do have out there, feel free to do so. We have a new shirt out there. It says fueled by anime with plot. For all those cultured individuals out there, you obviously know what that means. And until next time, I'm Jack.
I'm Rick. And no matter how little time we borrow from you, we always appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Later.